you see it streaming? Oh, there you go. All right, you ready? Starting the intro. You gotta be quiet because the microphone is gonna be off. She coughed in the damn mic. It's Sunday, y'all, and you know what time
Relationships
it is.
aren't
I
easy,
bet you she
y'all.
late, y'all. Should I tell them the good news, Smack?
Yeah, babe, go ahead and tell them.
Nah, I think they can
I'm
wait.
excited. I'm excited.
I guess you can't tell everything. Tonight's topic is toxic relationships. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Relationships Aren't Easy. Tonight's topic is toxic relationship. Toxic. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how toxic we are in them. Let's talk about our toxic traits, and let's talk about the relationships we've been in and our former partners or our current partners' toxic traits.
Yeah, let's talk about toxic relationships. Yeah. So I've never been in a toxic relationship.
I believe everyone has been in a toxic relationship. I
I
can't
haven't
believe
been
it.
in a toxic relationship that I can think of.
Okay, well, first we need to define what is toxic. Like, what would be considered a toxic relationship? What's toxic?
Mm.
What is toxic? Audience, what is toxic? Are you watching? Are you listening? What is a toxic relationship? Is it everything? Because relationships, they aren't easy. You're not going to agree with everything that your partner does. But at what point does the relationship become toxic? When do you reach that threshold?
So according to this, it says that a toxic relationship is one that has unhealthy dynamics and causes you distress or harm because you're unsupported, manipulated, or disrespected. While we have our moments and seasons of selfishness, a truly toxic person will take and take and take and give you nothing in return. Wow. So I have been in a toxic relationship. Wow. If we're going off of that definition. So if you've been in a toxic relationship, please call in 844-708-3133. Let's talk about it. Wow. So looking at that definition, I guess I do have been in a toxic relationship.
Could you repeat that definition?
Let me get back to it. It is a toxic relationship is one that has unhealthy dynamics and causes you distress or harm because you're unsupported, manipulated, or disrespected. While we all have our moments and seasons of selfishness, a truly toxic person will take and take and take and give you nothing in return. And that could be in business matters too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
This
have
ain't
been in
just,
some toxic ones like that.
Yeah, I've been in that. I've been in that too. People just wanna, you know, take it. I think toxic relationships are when both parties are comfortable with not evolving, therefore committing to not growing.
Hold your mic up.
I'm sorry. I think toxic relationships are when both parties are comfortable with not evolving, therefore committing to not growing, therefore dying together mentally, emotionally, and sometimes physically. Okay, I can see that for a relationship, one of those committed relationships, maybe that's it. But for me, once I start seeing any trait of toxicness, I'm out of there because I ain't got time for that. And we not going to be standing in one place and not getting nowhere. We got to grow at some point in time. So I appreciate your comment. What do you have to say about that, Queen?
We might have to share microphones. Let me see. I actually, I agree. I agree with the user, and I agree with what you read. Um, Again, like I said at the top of the show, I believe that toxic relationships, are the ones where you don't grow. And I also want to add that you are in mental distress and you feel repeated mental distress. It's not like the stressors of a disagreement in a relationship. It's just mostly, mental distress. But this Facebook user, I'm not sure who you are. You're dropping some great jewels, but it says, because toxicity exists within us all, but if you knowingly choose not to work on it out of love, and that's for all relationship dynamics. Okay. So, can you really work on a toxic relationship? Can you really? I can't see. Oh, hey, Adoria. Hey, I don't think you can really work on a toxic relationship. To me,
Okay, so let's look at one. I mean, only one I can think of that's really toxic right now, and because I see it all over the social media, I see it everywhere I go. Is Krishan Rock
oh yeah,
and Blueface. Now that's toxic.
yeah, that's
You know what I'm
toxic
saying?
as hell.
But I be feeling like they create this toxic, trying to
Toxicity.
toxicity so that they can make money, you know what I mean, offer their things. But some of it is real. I mean, they are always, and they know how to manipulate the system so that they share their toxic relationship with the world, but they're making money off of it. It's crazy because some of it be a lot of it is real, but I feel like they don't want to get out of it. They want it to be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I could agree. You know who else relationship is toxic?
Oh.
I think Will and Jada is toxic.
Oh,
as
that one right
all
there. That's
hell.
toxic, controlling,
I
and
don't think
whole
you can
bunch of
fix
other
that.
things. Yeah, that right there is what do you call it?
That's beyond toxic. They can hear
Yeah.
me. It's beyond. That's
I think
overboard. Is no repair for that. I don't see the comeback. I don't see how you could even. I even see you walking through the muck and the mud after you break up. I can foresee Will and Jada needing intense therapy afterwards.
Really?
Yes,
Because
super intense.
they got some signs here for people to know when they're in a toxic. This is what they're saying are some of the signs.
Well,
of
what website are you on? What are some of the signs of a toxic relationship?
this is called Femina.in.
Okay. Well, while she's looking it up, you guys, y'all drop in the comments. What do you consider a toxic relationship? What is going on in the relationship to make it toxic for you? Because I also believe that everyone has a different level, a different threshold before you can actually hit it, and then they'll think it's toxic. Like for me, my toxic threshold is very it's low. I mean it's high. It's super high. So when you get to it, it's but some people you have to beat them all the way down to damn near. Okay, so if we say 1 to 10. Some people got to get beat all the way down to 1 before. Will and Jada is a great example of you can't judge a book because we all used to want that, but now we know that's not it. Constant, consistent disregard about, yes, that is definitely a toxic relationship.
Yeah. Here goes. I'm gonna just name a couple: lack of support, envy or jealousy,
Yep.
toxic communication, dishonesty, controlling behavior.
And that sounds like a narcissistic person.
It does.
That sounds like a narcissistic person.
That sounds like a narcissist, to be honest.
Yes, it does. It truly does. So let's talk about, because again, Adaria said that everyone has toxic traits, but that doesn't mean that the whole relationship is toxic. Some things we have to work on to make the relationship prosperous. All right, so let's share some of our toxic traits. Like, what do you think are your toxic traits, or do you want me to tell you what I think, or you?
You go first, because I don't think I got no toxic traits.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, my toxic traits, I believe my toxic trait is expecting me out of other people and being irrational about it. That's one of my toxic traits. Because I expect me, and when I say me, meaning that I'm very high functioning, and because I'm high functioning, I think people that aren't high functioning are lazy, which is judgmental, which is kind of toxic. My other toxic trait that I'm better at now is I can come off as demanding, but really I'm not really demanding. I'm just not a wordy person. With the communication piece, like, I'm used to talking to people where I could say a few words and they actually understand and they get me. But, to people that need more words or more wordy, I come off as blunt or brash. So, for example, I can say, I need that over there, please. A person that's not that's a person that's worthy of, like, well, I need more detail. What is that? Where over there where? But I'm used to talking to people, and the people I'm used to talking to, I can say that, and they'll automatically, hold on, let me finish. They can automatically pick up the cue based off the conversation that we had. So when we could have had a prior conversation about
just
the
said
book
the
over
conversation
there,
that we had.
I could say, pass that to me, and then if you need extra words, then me saying, could you pass me that over there, comes all blunt, because you're not putting two and two together that I meant that. So I could say, when it comes to the communication piece, it's not that I'm blunt, it's not that I'm brash, it's just that my toxic trait is my communication skills at times. So, 2 toxic traits. I expect me out of me, which makes me believe that people are lazy. That's toxic. That's judgmental. And I'll say little snarky things. I can be sarcastic. And my communication skills kind of make me a little bit toxic.
Yeah, but it's a different. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all got to share this. Can you pass me that thing over there? If someone said that to you, and there's a whole bunch of things over there, aren't you going to ask them what's that thing?
No, not
if it's more. Hold up.
No,
hold on.
Y'all was just talking about cooking something, and I said, "Well, pass me that over there." And
No. I didn't say pass me that over there. I said, can you pass me that thing? And there's like 20 things over there. Aren't you going to ask which thing? Can somebody agree with me on that?
No.
Which thing? If there's 20 things, if you're in an office and they're telling you to pass you that thing over there, and you look behind you or to the side of you, and there's 20 things to the side and 30 behind, you're going to ask, what is that thing? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anybody that can figure that shit out, you're awesome.
Yeah, well, most people that deal with me automatically know what I'm talking about. They can put two and two together. I've been with you for 6 years. I ain't figured it out. I'm just saying, in general, like best friends, they all pull it together.
Years. You can't say that. That toxic trait of yours, you got to change it real quick. Because I'll be bringing you all 20 damn things to the right and the 30 behind me until you tell me what it is. I ain't going to ask no more. That's right. That thing. Use contacts. Thank you. But yeah, I'm very. I mean, the only thing toxic about me, I'm just very blunt, and I'm a by the book person. And a lot of people don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like it that I'm literal.
Yeah, that literal thing.
She hates that I'm literal.
That literal thing is annoying as fuck. I can
Okay,
admit
but that's
that.
me.
It's annoying as fuck.
Okay, that's me. That thing shit is annoying as fuck too. But hey, we deal with it, right? She
Okay.
doesn't like the fact that I'm literal. You like if you ask me to do something, I mean you gotta leave, and then don't text me. And I'm supposed
Detailed
to.
instructions.
Thank you. Yes, detailed instructions is what I need.
Like,
And don't send me a text and shit's misspelled, and I'm supposed to decipher what the hell it is. Especially if they 3-letter words and ain't no
y'all
vowel
know
there.
Your phone changes your words.
You know what I mean? Especially if it's a 3-letter word and there's no vowel in there. How the hell am I supposed to? I'm looking up, searching the 3 consonants that I see before me to see what they stand for, the acronym.
Oh my God.
I love you, babe.
No, you don't.
She getting mad.
No, you don't. You know you do not.
Hey, man, that's my toxic. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm very literal. I'm a by the book person. That's how. If this is how I'm supposed to do it, even with putting some stuff together, she'll throw the directions away. I read the directions, so I make sure I don't, mess up. And that's how literal I am. Sorry, but that's me.
So, you said you were in a toxic relationship. What did that look like?
I don't know, because I really don't. I don't know. I don't. When I look at toxic relationships, I still don't. I'm just looking at the definition, but I don't feel like I've been in one still. Because once I start feeling uncomfortable, I leave.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're uncomfortable,
that's part of
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put this out there because that list that you read, it left off something that I feel is very crucial. I want to say to all the people that are here, hey, DC Kool-Aid, if repetitive cheating is that's a toxic trait.
Oh, yeah.
And if it goes on, even after, you had the conversation, listen, I'm going to give you another chance. Let's work this out. And it continuously to happen. That is a toxic relationship. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care about what your grandmom did. I don't care about what auntie from the 60s, 40s, 30s did.
Yeah, that's dishonest.
That is toxic as hell. It wears on the person's esteem.
Yeah,
it wears in. And I know we're not responsible for another person's perception of self, but the things that you do can contribute to how, you can alter their way of thinking. If they're not, that person that believes that they're, regardless of what you do to me, it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you. But it wears on the person. So
yeah, I agree. Like what you were saying, that's dishonesty. So yeah, I've been in relationships where I've had my other half at a time has lied to me several times about stuff. Especially, starting off early on, just lying about the dumbest stuff and just kept lying about it. During that time, I was in college. So, yeah, I do. I have been in a toxic relationship. But me, I'm not the one that's going to keep being in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
you know what I mean? Because it's about my peace at the end of the day. I ain't going to keep going over and over and over and over and arguing about the same damn shit. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. But the same stuff. So that's just me. And if I see that we going over the same things over and over, and I mean, that's just like there are people, business relationships, people not being honest, you know what I mean, and keep getting the same results. Somebody's not being honest. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
When you hire somebody to do something and you pay them a lot of money for their work, let's just talk about promotion and marketing. There's a lot of people out here that talk about they do promotion and marketing and what they can do. That's why it's so important that people show you proof of where they've taken businesses instead of us looking at their numbers and seeing how many followers they got here and how many followers they got on these different social medias. Well, show me a business that you took from this much to that much. Then I'll decide whether I want to pay you that money. And that's what bad toxic relationships are, because people keep paying that money to them monthly. You're seeing a little bit of leverage, you see it a little more leverage, but you're not seeing the leverage that you should expect for the money that you spending. So people have to get out of those toxic relationships, because then your business relationships, because then you keep running and running and wasting money and not giving the results that you want.
Right. Tamara said, unfortunately, bring your mic over here. Unfortunately, toxic relationships can have a lasting effect on people too. It does. It erodes your trust. When you go to enter a relationship that could be potentially healthy, you ruin it.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Thank you, Tamara.
Yeah, you definitely ruin it. Another thing I believe, for me, I'm just saying for me, like if you joined us in the beginning, Smack read a list of toxic behaviors, but I want to add on to that. For me, another toxic trait to me is getting a relationship and being stagnant, and you have a conversation about, the other party not readily wanting to become more or do more. That can become toxic. That too erodes on a person's esteem. If we're together and I would love to do more and you don't want to do more, I don't understand why you would put yourself as a placeholder in that person's life and hold them down. That's toxic. That's toxic as hell. If you know you got that go getter in your life and you're not, walk away. And don't be you. And you know what? People like that generally in this, and let's just be honest, right? People like that normally are the ones that will lay around, not do nothing, but then they'll bring the jealousy and the control into the relationship. So the person could be a go getter, and then the other party is not, and they know it, but they try to slow that person down out of jealousy, out of anger. That's toxic. That's very toxic. Tamara said, I've been with my now husband 15 years and I still have moments where the past will pop up. That's sad.
Mm. Yeah, you got to deal with that past. So, I don't know. I don't look at like what you're saying is toxic. It becomes toxic because you continue to stay in it. But if you don't have communications and let a person know, I don't know. I just believe like have a talk, and if things, find out why that person doesn't want to grow. Find out why that person doesn't want to, take things to the next level. You feel what I'm saying? I think a lot of it is communication, and you gotta be willing to accept their answer and help them work through why they may are having an issue with not wanting to grow.
Yeah, but if that's who they are as a person, why hold can't? If that's who they are as a person, why hold the other person back? Now, I do agree that you should have a conversation, but if that person is still stagnant, they're not moving, and then they take on behaviors that hold you back, that's toxic. That's toxic. That's like the mother. Okay, we all saw all those movies in the 70s or 80s, right? Where you see the mom
Check, check.
saving all the money to buy a home, and then the toxic ass husband that don't want nothing because he love it in the projects come take all the money and spend it on frivolous shit. That's toxic. That's destruction of another person. But some people may not look at it as that. That's toxic as hell. Toxicity doesn't have to show up as painful as cheating, as painful as abuse, physical abuse. It's mental abuse. You know, erosion of esteem. That's toxic.
Okay.
That's to- excuse me. That's toxic. You know.
That's hey Morgan, how you doing? How you doing, Morgan? Morgan. Can you unmute this mic so I can talk?
Sure.
All right. So, um, I guess that's a good way of looking at it. I mean, we can agree to disagree with that last statement. Um, but that's still I think a lot of times where a lot of some of the reasons why relationships become toxic is because of dishonesty. A person isn't really expressing their own true feelings. What do you think? They become
Dishonesty.
mute. That's one of the traits. That's one on this list. Yep.
Well, people not expressing their true feelings.
It says it's on here.
Ah.
Dishonesty is on there. Then it says envy or jealousy. Like, I don't like feeling like I'm in a competition with nobody. The only person I'm in competition with is myself. But if I feel as though if I feel as though I'm in competition with my mate, we don't need to be together. There's a lot of that go on though. I'm going to need y'all on my real talk to talk about this topic one Saturday when you guys are available. Okay, yeah, send us an email. Got you, DC Kool-Aid. But for real though, that's just, I feel like in relationships, and I'm talking about relationships that, two people who love each other in, you have to be honest about your feelings. Or I can see it, you're supposed to help each other out because I could see it becoming toxic. I mean, you're supposed to be honest with one another about your feelings, because if not, it can become a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. You're supposed to be with each other to help each other grow, not compete. Yeah, but it's a lot of relationships that I know friends who've been married who got, they not married, they still married, but they not together. But it's like, they in competition with each other, and it shouldn't be that way. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that way at all because of one person not being honest about how they feel. And if I've never been in relationships where someone is trying to outshine me or I'm trying to outshine them. We just don't do that. We do it all together and move together in unison. Well, you know what I mean? There's a whole lot that I can tell y'all that I've learned from my girl that I didn't know before, and it's helped elevate me. And people have to sometimes in relationships set their pride to the side.
Oh Lord, you know how hard that is for people to do.
Especially, I feel like a lot of men, it's hard for them to set their pride to the side because of them family values. You're supposed to be tough and suck it up. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is.
Now Tamara brought up a great point. We definitely just hold the mic there.
But that mic is out too?
No, it's not that the mic is out. We on one channel, so it's gonna.
Oh,
echo.
okay.
So, she talked about monetary abuse, and I have experienced that.
Where's that at?
At the bottom it says it can be monetary abuse. Now, a lot of people don't believe that you can monetarily abuse a person. It's several ways of doing it. I've actually experienced both. In one of my relationships, money was withheld from me, based like I was a child, like behavior based things, like, if you perform this way, you deserve this, or if you are like this, then you would get that. You don't deserve a home because you're not behaving like this. And a lot of people, do that. It's control. It's a form of control. Another thing, monetary abuse. Someone getting in a relationship with you and they only find value when you have money.
Oh wow.
So say,
Okay.
you
Oh,
know,
okay.
you get
I
into
have
the
been in
relationship,
those.
you don't never see the girl. She shows up when you got money,
I
y'all
got
having
money.
a
Yeah.
great time.
Been
You
there.
are beautiful, you're wonderful, everything. And then
Let
no
me tell you.
money, she's gone.
Let me tell you. I was it's crazy. Like I was dating this young lady um near DC, and it seemed like they only wanted me to come down like every couple of weeks, right? So I come down every couple of weeks. I know the first place we're going to was the grocery store. Well, I ain't eating all this food. What's going on? You know what I mean? I mean, when I say I'm buying a bunch of groceries, spending 300 or 400, I was the CEO at the time. And then the next weekend, I mean, in 2 more weeks, they would come this way, and I noticed we at the casino. Oh, give me a couple hundred. I want to gamble. I'm like, yo, I had to cut that off because you was only using me for my money. You know what I mean? And I've had that happen to me before with somebody else did this. Did that to me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I need this. It was always this, and we going out to eat. We gotta go to the most expensive place, and I'm like, yo, because they see who I am. Throwing parties, CEO. I was just doing a lot. So yeah, I'm saying you got me thinking.
Yeah,
I've
and
been in some
see, you done
toxic.
been in some toxic
Yeah, I've been in
relationships
some
and you
crazy
don't
ones.
even realize that you a survivor.
I'm a survivor, girl. I'm a
You a
survivor. My
survivor.
baby helped me figure it out. I guess these past 6 years have been so beautiful to me. There's been a lot of learning, and us working through things. I don't even think we've been in no toxic relationship. But man, she done opened my eyes up to some things today. For real, I've been in some toxic relationships, and I'm glad I ain't in them now.
Yeah, well, another thing with finances, which is financial abuse in a relationship where you have one person managing the bills and they're not paying them. That's toxic. Imagine, and that could be friendships, whomever you go into a partnership with, and they abuse your money. They take your money, they don't pay the bills, they do whatever it is that they want to do, and I don't know what it could be. They can waste it, they can take it and pay for another family or gamble or do whatever the hell they want. That is a toxic relationship.
Yeah, that is toxic if you yeah, that is toxic if you paying money on bills and you don't see the bills getting paid. You just giving up the money. Yeah. And then that person ain't paying the bills. Oh yeah, somebody's ass getting messed up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, excuse me. That's just excuse me, y'all. I'm learning. That's just a conversation we all gotta, have. We gotta have a talk about because I've been in a space business wise trying to brand me, and what everything that I have going on. And when I first started out, I mean, I lied to you not. I've probably invested about 5 digits. No, I ain't gonna say five. Yeah, 5 digits into branding Below the Surface Radio and Smack the Indie Plug. And I'm not nearly where I want to be. I know what my goal is, but with investing that kind of money, I've just thought, I should have did my homework more on some businesses that I dealt with to help me with branding. So, yep.
It's not working. All right, we'll fix it. But okay, so let's go on to the next part. And you guys that are watching, feel free to chime in, share, some other points about being toxic. What toxicity? What does it look like? What do you think about it? Um, Again, from being from the African American community, we've seen tons of toxic traits that we probably believe that's just normal. We believe the cheating is normal. We believe that being financially unsound is normal when it's a couple, that which you shouldn't. Um, what else have we seen in relationships that people may not even think is toxic, but it's toxic is
Every time
hell.
you get paid, that dude is asking you for money. Every time you get your taxes, he asking
That's
you for
financial
money.
abuse.
Yeah, fine. Every time you getting that tax return, he asking you for something to flip, and he ain't paid a bill, not one bill in your house. That's toxicity. That's called manipulation.
Oh. All right. So, oh my God. Another toxic thing, right? And, okay, ladies. If you are the other woman, that is a toxic ass relationship. You are in a toxic relationship. And I know you like to lie to yourself and say, well, it's better for him to be over there because I ain't got to do everything, or her over there because I don't got to do everything, and I get what I want and I see them when I see them. I don't have to have the responsibility of dealing with that person. No, honey, you are in a toxic ass relationship, and I need you to go get some therapy, and I need you to explain to me why, in this day and age with consenting adults, you're in a relationship with someone and you're being hid. It's things called polygamy, polyamory, but you're being hid. You're in a toxic relationship. That is eroding your self-esteem. And whether you know it or not, the person that's coming to sleep with you is abusing you sexually. Not sexual abuse like rape or whatever, but that person does not have any self-respect for you. They're just sleeping with you. They're on top of you. It's just sexual pleasure for them. Sexual toxicity.
That's crazy.
Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you just said. I agree with everything you just said. You know, women and my brothers too. It works both ways, to be honest. I'm keeping it real. I know some female pimps. I know some females that, it go both ways. I don't mean to call it pimp, but females, it's not always the guys having something at home and got something. Women do it too. It goes both ways. Because it happened to me. For real. Yeah. Yes. Now, I wasn't pimp. Had something good at home, but you were also, messing around outside of the home. So, yeah, it's called cheating. It happens in all relationships. We just can't all put it on the men. But when it comes to toxic relationships, if you notice that you're having any traits, you can look it up. The chart is there that tells you the different signs of a toxic relationship. Just look up the signs and try to fix that in your relationship before you don't have one.
Yeah, that's true. And just general control. I mean, we know multiple ways people try to control people. Again, financial control. How about religious control? People use religion to control you. You know, people will. I was in a relationship where a person wanted to convert to Islam so that they could control what I wore. Not because the religion was beautiful, but if we convert to Islam, you will have to wear the what is it, 3/4, 3/5 of cloth, and that no one could see you. You be garbed up. You be in the house, and you'll follow the tenements of this religion. And I was just sitting there like, are you're really serious, huh? No.
That should all been something discussed beforehand. That should have been something used as a tactic to control you.
Well, it is what it is.
I would never do nothing like that.
Yep.
Getting me hot talking about her past.
Oh
Why would
God.
they treat my baby like that? Why would they treat my baby like that?
Well, they didn't find value in me, I guess. You know, it's but you know what? You can come out of it. It's a bright side. You don't have to Will and Jada it all your life. You don't have to be what's her name, Krishan. You don't. You know what? You don't have to be Nicki Minaj and Chris Petty. Now that's beyond. That's another form of abuse. You know what? Being in a relationship with someone that has a record and you don't know, like his, like heinous, like
And she didn't know.
child abuse. Oh, God.
She didn't know until she. I just got a question. She didn't know until she got pregnant by him. Wow, that's deep.
That is deep and it's scary. It's scary. You lean this way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's I don't even know what to say. But I can only imagine that Nikki every day. Here is a beautiful woman that is the number one female rap artist, well was, has all the limelight on her, and she can't even be proud and out and about and happy about who she is because of the allegations against her husband and her brother. And I know it's eroded and killing her esteem because what's that girl named Meg Thee Stallion, when she came out and said that Megan's Law thing, that destroyed her more than any other thing that she said inside of that rap. I was like, oh my God. I don't even listen to this, but I gotta go find out what she said. But that's crazy. But what should we do? Let's wrap it up. We already been on for almost an hour. How do you get out of a toxic relationship?
First, you gotta recognize the toxicity. The toxicity. How you spell that?
Toxicity.
Toxicity. First, you gotta recognize that, and that's how you fix it. Second, you gotta have open communication. Third, you gotta seek professional help. You know what I mean? Because if y'all try to do it alone, you're just going to keep cussing each other out and you're not getting nowhere and it's not getting resolved. So get some professional help. Set some boundaries. Practice some self-care. There you go.
Oh Lord, foster empathy and understanding. Take responsibility for your action. Well, people can't do that. That's a little bit hard. Reinforce
Take responsibility
positivity.
for your actions, man. That's the first place for moving on. You got to admit what you did wrong. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people today. When you're wrong, admit it. Instead of keep talking about you didn't do it. Oh, it didn't. Da, da, da. If you're wrong, admit it.
And that alone is toxic as hell. Being in a relationship with someone that can't admit that they're wrong and they doing some heinous crazy shit. It's not like they're doing silly stuff and not admitting it. They just doing the craziest stuff. And I just want to impart and share this from my own personal life. A toxic person, right? And those were some great that was some great advice to give someone that's in a toxic relationship. But I'm going to share this with you guys from my life, a page from my life. Okay. So I was in a relationship with a toxic partner, and we decided, because I was literally disappearing in this relationship to the point where I was seeking therapy and I didn't even want my family, my friends, nobody to know. And when I went to this therapist, my self-esteem was so low. He told me, listen, I cannot tell you what to do, but I think you need to leave. I think you need to leave. And I said to this therapist, no, I'm going to try to fix it somewhere. It's got to be somewhere I can fix it. He said, okay, well, if you're not going to leave, I recommend therapy for you and that person. So I said to said person, maybe we need to go to therapy, right? We get inside the therapy with the therapist, right? That person got to pick the therapist, wanted it to be a specific way, had to be male, had to be, this, that, and the third. So we got all the specifications, right? We got inside there with the therapist. And the therapist, the person said, she doesn't listen to me. She doesn't understand anything he said she doesn't understand anything that I'm saying to her. And he said, well, tell her something now. And he told me something. The therapist said, now repeat what he said. And I repeated it. He said, what does that mean? I explained what it meant. He said, well, sir, it sounds like she understands what you're saying. Your issue is not that she doesn't understand. Your issue is she's not doing what you want. And that's not the way relationships work.
That control shit.
And that is how so be mindful when you go through therapy. Make sure that both sides are getting what they need. You're both feeling heard. You're both walking away feeling great about this relationship taking a positive turn.
Yeah, you might be able to save your relationship instead of walking away from it.
Yes, but in my case, had I listened to that therapist, I could have saved myself 5 years of craziness and neglect. Another toxic piece, and then we're going to get on out of here. You can neglect your partner. I was sexually neglected for years. That's toxic. That's forcing your partner into a position. I'm not going to have sex with you unless you do this, or you wear this, or you be this. Now, of course, you might want to see your partner in something, but not to transform your partner's whole personality. Change them to the core, wanting them to become, when they're Martha Stewart, but you want them to be Nicki Minaj. That is fucking toxic.
Right. That's crazy.
Toxic. So be careful. I'm going to let you close it out because I could talk about this topic all night because I've been in toxic relationships. I've been in the ones where the man, or whomever, your partner, that toxic piece of, if I can't have you, no one will.
Lord, yeah.
So
Used to be that type. Yeah.
I'll kill everybody. I'll beat you. I've been in that situation. I got the story and I got the police report and the broken nose that I had. But stay away from them toxic relationships. I'll let you close it out.
What is our topic?
I have no idea.
So this has been another episode of Relationships Aren't Easy. And we don't just talk about loving relationships. We talk about business relationships. We talk about friendships. And we talk about, your faith leaderships, which we talked about last week, which was dishonesty. So we're going to come back in another week, next Sunday. I don't know. We always say 6 p.m.-ish.
Between 6 and 8.
6 and 8 because we got some new technology and my baby's in here working out the kinks, trying to get everything right. But make sure you guys set a reminder between 6. We really going to try to get it to that 6 p.m.-ish. But we thank y'all for tuning in to us next week. We'll release what the topic is probably tomorrow evening as we talk about what the topic will be. If you guys have a topic that you would like for us to talk about, please drop it in our inboxes or any of our personal pages, and we got you. All right, so we just want to thank you for tuning in to Relationships Aren't Easy, and you guys have a great evening.
Boy! It's Sunday, y'all. And
Relationships aren't easy, y'all.
Should I tell them the good news, Smack?
Yeah, babe, go ahead and tell